Hello, and thank you so much for dropping by this video. I am going to be sharing about how my relationship with my mother was healed through energy. Yes, through energy. So, first of all, a little background and welcome to anyone who's new to this channel. So, uh, this channel is dedicated to the teachings of a very interesting person named Bruno Groening. And one of the central things that he taught was that there is a sacred, holy life energy that is available to help with all aspects of life. And initially, when I found out about this, I was interested in it because I needed help with physical healing. I had lots of illnesses, and I'm happy to say they've all healed. And I was so pleasantly surprised to discover that this energy can help not just with physical problems, but actually with any kind of problem or challenge or burden. So I found out about this information. I became very committed to it because my health was quite poor. And as I said, I experienced many, many healings. But soon after getting involved in this, or getting serious about it, the quality of my dreams started to change. I started to have very profound dreams, sometimes dreams of lifelong dreams coming true. Many of the dreams were something bad would happen, but then it would turn into something good. And then one dream I had was really special, and that brings us to, and I even got some guidance during my dreams. It was really, really very precious. And so one dream I had was, and so I've struggled a long time in a relationship with my mother. We're cordial and we're warm and we care about each other, but there's been kind of a block. And this dream I'm about to share really helped. So one of the blocks, I'm embarrassed to say, was I was very judgmental of my mother. For a very long time, I've been very devoted to the spiritual path. And somewhere along the lines, I took on this dumb idea that, someone who's not as devoted to the spiritual path is somehow less than me. And it wasn't just a burden with her, but with really lots of people, with everyone. I kind of got, they call it a spiritual ego, when you sort of take on spiritual teachings and then use it to look down on people. And I'm sad to say it's a little common in the modern spiritual world. And I had a whopping case of it. And so this dream was the beginning of the healing of that. But so in the dream, I was hanging out with my mom, and she did something, like I think maybe she knocked something over, or she did something sort of, not the most graceful, slightly clumsy. And then she just started being herself. She's like, oh my gosh, there I go again. And da-da-da, not being hard on herself, but kind of joking about herself. And in that moment, all the judgments vanished. They just left. And I saw what a beautiful being she is. And since then, I'm very happy to say that my relationship with her is so much improved. And as I said, it used to be warm and cordial, but now there really is, between us, there's genuine love and respect for each other. And it really, that one moment in the dream was really the beginning of this huge, huge shift. And so I'm very grateful for it. And then, of course, that was the beginning of a much larger change or growth or healing, of helping me learn to let go of some of this spiritual arrogance that I had taken on, which is truly toxic. And it's humbling and slightly embarrassing to admit that was something I had taken on. So, but how did all this come about? Well, Bruno Groening taught a very simple practice of taking in divine healing energy. And, you might many people do the practice because they have a specific thing they're trying to heal. But the thing is this energy is actually very wise. And it works on things that we don't even think to ask for. Like, I didn't even think to ask for, please help with my relationship with my mother. And the first healing I had actually was not something I asked for at all. So this energy and the sender of this energy, which I call it source or God or love itself, whatever gave birth to the universe, whatever word you call it, maybe isn't so important, but it's a lot wiser than me, and it knows the right time and the right place for things to happen and for things to heal and for things to be let go of. So if you'd like more information about how to take in this healing energy, and that sounds like such a sales pitch, and it isn't, because nothing connected with this. There's no charge for this. I share this information free of charge. I'm alive because of it, so I share it out of gratitude. You can check on my website, which I'm going to post in the chat box, and then that website will be listed below. So thank you so much for joining in, and whatever burden you're facing in life, whether it be a physical problem, financial, relationship, emotional, there is an energy or a power or a force or consciousness that's billions of times bigger than whatever problem you're up against, right? Because when we have a problem, it's like if my hands are the problem, this is kind of how we see life, right? Or it's like, maybe it's like in front of us, but it's like the problem seems so big. But if we compare all the space around me to the problem, it's actually quite small, and it gets even smaller the wider our perspective gets. Like, compare let's say this is my problem, compare it to the house I'm in. Well, it's actually pretty small. But then when you compare it to my neighborhood, teeny tiny, to my city, it's like a speck of dirt. And that's just as big as the city, right? Much less when we go to the planet or the solar system or the universe or that which contains or holds the universe. Janet, great question. Thank you. Wonderful question, Janet. So, Janet asked, can you explain the difference between Einstein and Heilstrom? Okay, so a little German lesson. So Bruno Groening, who taught these ideas, he was from Germany. He was active in Germany after World War II. And the process of taking this energy in, he used many words to describe it. Well, one of the most common is Einstellen. Einstellen is a verb, has many meanings, but one of them is to take in, to focus, to position correctly, or to tune in, as in tuning a radio station. So he described, the word Einstellen is describing the practice of receiving this energy that he spoke of. So it's a verb. It's really, it's like, I forget the English word for it. It's like an ongoing verb. It's like when you tune in, it's something it's like breathing. You don't just do it once. It's kind of ongoing. Like if you tune in for 15 minutes, the whole time you're having your attention on receiving this divine energy. And then Heilstrom, that's one of the words he used to describe this energy. It's actually a word he created. He took two German words, Heil and Strom, and put them together and called this energy the Heilstrom. So Strom is a little easier to understand. Strom, it has about 12 different meanings. Flow, current, wave, river, frequency. This idea of something in motion. like moving in a water-like way. Uh, it can also, strom is the word for an electric current, like the electricity flowing through the wires. You would say that has if it's strong, you'd say that has a strong strom, a strong strom. Heil, very fascinating word. And I invite everyone who's interested in this work to go to Google Dictionaries. I'm doing it right now, and type in German to English, and then type in the word Heil, because it has about 15 meanings. Heil, it means salvation, and we'll come back to that in a moment. It also means safe, whole, intact, unharmed, unscathed, undamaged, unhurt, uninjured, untouched, fixed, safely. It also means holy or divine. That one's not listed on Google. It's a word that's not used much in German anymore. So, again, we'll come back to salvation. It also means healing or medicinal. Actually, Google doesn't even come close to covering all the meanings. So what on earth? So we've got strom, energy, but what is Heil? Well, so first of all, it's divine. That part's clear. It's healing. It's medicinal. Okay, it can actually heal the body. That part is clear. But what about this intact, safe, untouched? Well, my view is unhurt, uninjured, that this energy restores us to a state of wholeness, to a state where we are uninjured, unhurt, where we're intact and sound. Sound in the sense of like strong or solid. And removes the blockages to the experience of that. Now, when I tune in, I often feel like I've just been lifted above all my problems. I feel safe. I feel sound and whole and intact. And so I think that's the other thing, is that it's the process of restoring us to that, but it also gives us the taste of what that wholeness feels like. Now, Heil also means salvation. Now, salvation, in the Western world, salvation usually means going to heaven, right? But Bruno Groening spoke of salvation from a spiritual perspective, from the idea of all burdens, all worries, becoming free from all of those things. In the East, they speak of enlightenment or liberation. And I believe that's a little bit more the flavor of it, of literally being freed, having all problems removed from us. So my understanding is this is a divine, taking all of that together, this is a divine energy, a sacred divine energy that heals and is medicinal, that gives us a taste of the truth about ourselves, that Bruno Groening spoke that we're not a body, we're a soul, and that soul contains a divine spark that is untouched, uninjured, intact, sound, secure, safe. And so it gives us a taste of that, but it's also the energy that will lead us to that, to salvation. So given that we've just kind of defined these things, let's do it. Let's do a little Einstellen and receive the Heilstrom. So said very simply, Einstellen is the process of receiving the Heilstrom. So how to do this? Please sit with your legs uncrossed, feet flat on the floor, hands on your legs, palms facing upwards, back in a relaxed upright position. And now really hand over to your understanding of God, higher power, spirit, or a spiritual helper you trust, your burdens and worries, any life situations. And then ask to receive this divine healing energy and observe your body with the intention to receive it. Now, some people like to listen to music while doing this. And that's a personal choice. I kind of vacillate. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I sit in silence. For right now, let's just sit in silence and have the will and intention to receive this good energy. Noticing what you feel, having the intention to receive. If the mind wanders off, bring it back. Observing your body. So some people feel something immediately. Some people it takes a little time. And anyone who sticks with it and is open will eventually feel something and eventually will experience help and healing. All that's required is being open to it and seeking it. And one thing that I found so helpful, and at first I thought it was the weirdest thing I'd ever heard, is asking Bruno Groening for help. I thought it was the strangest thing I'd ever heard of. And then I tried it and I started to get results. So I really invite people to try that out. Thank you so much for joining in. Thanks for your questions, Janet. Hope that's helpful. I wish everyone a beautiful, beautiful day. Take care. Much love.